Hariom, Abdulji, we'll chant the Sarga Sthiti Pralayatum Achinta Shaktim Vishweswaram Vidita Vishwam Ananta Murtim Nirmukta Bandhanam Apara Sukam Burasim Sri Vallabham Vimala Buddhadharam. Verse number 2. Yasya prasadat ahameva Vishnu mayeva sarvam parikalpitam cha itam vijanami sadatma rupam tasangri padmam pranatosi nityam. So Vakya Vritti, sloka number 12 onwards we'll chant now. Sloka number 12. Satyananda Swarupam Dhi Dakshinam Bodha Vigraham Chintaya Mataya Nityam Swadeha Digamdhiyam. Verse 14. Ishavacha Anatma Yadi Pindo Yam Tahetu Balanmatah Kvaramalakapat Sakshat Atmanam Pratipadaya. Sloka 15. Guru Ruvacha Ghata Drashta Ghatat Vinna Sarvatha na Ghato Yatha Deha Drashta Tatha Deho Nahamitya Vadharaya. Ghata Drashta Ghatat Vinna Sarvatha na Ghato Yatha Deha Drashta Tatha Dehi Nahamitya Vadharaya. All the listeners of this discourse, to you, Pranatosmi. My pranam. That verse, Yasya prasadat ahameva Vishnu. That's a beautiful verse. If you want, you remember. Yasya prasadat ahameva Vishnu. Mayeva sarvam parikalpitam cha. Itham vijanami sadatma rupam. Tasangri padmam pranatosmi nityam. Yasya is here Guru. With the grace of Guru, we are able to understand that I am the Vishnu, I am the one, I am that Vishnu. Otherwise, how can you know? Upanishad is there, yes, but I cannot understand that statement that Aham Brahmasmi. I can never understand. Because of His grace, His teaching, that we are able to know. So that's why Yasya Prasadat Aham Eva Vishnu. I alone am that Vishnu. Because of His grace alone. And Mayeva Sarvam Parikalpitam cha. Everything else is imagined or created. I am the substratum on which everything else is created. Itham Vijanami Sadatma Rupam. Like this, once I understand that He is the Sadatma Rupam, all the time He is the Atma Rupam, I do pranam to His lotus feet. The Sangri Padma. The Angri means the feet. Angri means in the feet. That feet, Padmam, that means Pada Padma. The Sangri Padma means Tasya Pada Padma. Pranatosmi Nityam. That means I go down to him every day. Okay. That's a difficult word, Tasangri Padmam. But remember that his lotus feet. Okay. Pada. Padma Pada. Okay, now we continue our talk on Sloka 15. Guru Vacha Ghatadrashta Ghatatvidna Sarvatha na Ghato Yatha Dehadrashta Tatha Deho Naham Nityam Adharaya. Just like the perceiver of a pot, a person who is looking at a pot, he is different from the pot. He is distinctly different from the pot. Anything for that matter. He can never be the pot. Same way, I am the perceiver of my body, I look at my body, I know this is the body, this is the hand, this is the legs, right? So I cannot do without body. So this statement, you ascertain yourself firmly. That means he's doing na aham iti avadharaya. Avadharaya means ascertain. You be sure, convince yourself that I am not this body. Actually, our whole thing is hinging on this only. The thought, I mean, all the time, the prevalent thought is, I am this body. Everybody thinks because it has been over the generations, over the many lives. I understand that I am that body. But na aham iti avadharaya. Nahamitya avadharaya. Na, actually no. Na aham iti avadharaya. I am not this. Ascertain that I am not this body. And before that, Deha Drashta Tatha, just like that, you watch the pot, same way you also you are looking at the body, so you are not the body. For example. In fact, last time I gave one example which was very what you call touching. I gave the example of a dog, a pet dog that you are keeping, right? I don't want to repeat that. Like even you give the dog, let it grow up. You give him food to eat, then it will go around you. You'll see something else. You give the medicine, all that. You get to take to the veteran doctor. So you become the owner of the dog. This dog is my dog. Whose dog? Because people are also known by the name of the dog only. When you go for dog walk, people know that this Alsatian, he is the owner. You become known by the dog. But you are the owner, you are the possessor of the dog. Because you have given him shelter, you have given him food, you have nourished him, medicine, all that you are giving. So you are the owner of the dog. So all that is, you are doing it. So you are different from the body. You are distinct from the body. You can see like anything that you do, like I'm reading a book, I'm holding a pen, or I'm having a mobile or a computer, all that is, I am perceiving. Perceiving means what? You are utilizing all your sense organs. You can see with the eyes, you can hear with the ears, or your, sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of touch, all that comes as perception. All the sense organs you utilize and know that this is different from me. Like the book or the pen or the mobile or the computer, same way the dog and same way the body. So I am different from the body. This fact, actually it is so entrenched in our mindset that it's difficult to come out of it. It is difficult. The moment something happens to me, then I am hurt. Right? Isn't it? Suppose you fall down and you are there is a cut on the leg, then I have a cut on the leg. The leg is cut, yes, but I am not cut. I am not. Why I should get cut? So this fact, Shankaracharya is saying, you ascertain this logically, intellectually, in your mind, and assert this truth again and again, because it doesn't go away just like that. You tell me, all of us are studying for so long, for years we have been studying, have we been able to dissociate ourselves fully from the body? So far, as I can read, that we have been able to intellectually understand. And whenever the time comes, okay, we can do some argument also. I'm not this body, this is this finger, this is my finger, so I am not this finger. All that intellectually we can do the argument, but when it comes to the crux of the matter, we still associate ourselves with the body. So that's why he's telling you that do abhyasa again and again, practice, repeat that practice. So in our spiritual practice that we do Sravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasanam. So Nididhyasana, or you can say Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi, and Nidhyasanam, all these four stages of meditation can be utilized for making this change in your attitude. How is it so? See, this is a system. You are already programmed to this. Your unconscious mind and subconscious mind and conscious mind all are tuned to the fact that I am the body. And this has happened over many years. Yes. How many lives and all that. So since it is programmed like that in the unconscious, subconscious and conscious mind, so you have to make a dent in that subconscious mind, not only in the conscious mind, like what you're talking is intellectually you are able to understand. But that to make that dent, you have to go into dhyana. That's why that nidhyasana is very important. The purpose of nidhyasana is to repeatedly assert that aham brahmasmi. I am that Brahma, I am not this. Aham nirvikalpam nirakara rupam. I am nirvikalpa nirakara rupam. Yes. So that assertion has to take place not verbally, but not intellectually, but through slowly it will seep into your subconscious mind. Like whatever you have learned so far in this from since childhood, this has gone into your subconscious mind. Whatever practices you are following, whatever sanskara, traditions you are following, because from the childhood you have been doing this, so it has gone into your mind. Take it out is difficult. For decades, you have practiced this. You cannot stop going to the altar and doing some puja or arti because you have practiced it. Same way, you have to practice this conviction. After intellectual conviction, you have to practice it in such a way that through nidhyasana, it percolates into the subconscious mind that I am not this body. It should happen in such a way that when in the middle of the night you wake up, you think that there is my body is lying here, I am somebody else. I am Atma, my body is lying here. So this thought if it comes, then yes, oh yeah. So how it can happen? You have to re-establish your rightful relationship with the body. Re-establish rightful relationship. Just like you deal with our objects, just like you are saying the book is different, I am different. All the objects of the world, you are not saying that I am that, because you are distancing yourself. You understand that object is different and I am different. Same way, you are developing a subject-object relationship, right? So I am the subject and everything else is the object. This is the relationship we are establishing. But with the body, I am not able to do. Why? Because of the proximity. I'm so close. The other day I told you that the body is so close to me. And this I the consciousness or Atma is interwoven with the body in such a way that it cannot be separated, isn't it? It is that Atma and Anatma, the body and the consciousness, they are absolutely together now. They cannot be taken out, and they're taking it together in such a way that you cannot differentiate. So that's why the difficulty comes in thinking the body is an object, I am the subject, I am not the body. That's the difficulty. So because of that proximity, I am not able to take out. And moreover, there is something called superimposition, adhyasa. As I told you, what is adhyasa? But I am not. That crystal red flower, you see the red flower is a crystal, you think that the crystal is the red, but actually it is not red. Same way, the body is not conscious, but I think I am conscious. Isn't it? That is called adhyasa. So because of that adhyasa, my you know how the adhyasa is taking place? Because of the ignorance, because of lack of knowledge of my true identity. That is the ignorance. That is, I don't know. I don't accept that. Because I do not have the conviction that I am the pure self. I don't have the conviction. So, and that is because of my ignorance, lack of knowledge. So, ignorance or lack of knowledge, avidya, is the cause of body identification. Got that? So in Vedanta, you say like this: ignorance or avidya is the cause of body identification. If I had the vidya, vidya means Brahma vidya, that Aham Brahmasmi, that vidya. Once I have that conviction, then I'll never associate myself with the body. So vidya or knowledge of the self, knowledge that I am the Atma, I am the pure consciousness, I am the bliss, I am not this body. These thoughts means what? I am always thinking that I am that pure self, I am that Brahman. You see what? Brahmakara Vritti, the thoughts of Brahman. Once you have that, that is the remedy. That is the cure for our avidya or ignorance. This lack of knowledge or avidya not only creates wrong identification with the body, but also it brings a false sense into me, into my mind, and this pollutes the mind. What do you mean by that? See what happens. In natural state, mind is calm and quiet, serene. It is like a lake without ripples. But when that ignorance comes in, I identify myself with the things of the world, and I think that I am not this pure self, but the man or woman here. Then I get a lot of storms in the thought. There is a lot of thoughts come in. Good thoughts, bad thoughts, all that come into the mind. And that brings in a lot of worries, anxieties, fears, jealousy, pride, passion, joys and sorrows. Everything, all these emotions come into the mind. Okay, that means when that comes to the mind, the serenity of the mind, lake of the mind, is disturbed, and the waves are created. Right? That is what disturbance of the mind is. So that upheaval of the mind covers the natural, calm, quiet, serene state of the mind. That serene state gives you bliss. Once you see, when you have done something, or you have done some puja or something, you like it, and your mind is calm and quiet, then you will understand that you are happy. It's some sort of a um, uh, the happiness, the bliss, covers you up. It happens because that quietness, it brings you happiness. But this anxiety, fear, jealousy, pride, etc., creates that waves of thought which subdues your happiness. So the direct experience of bliss is taken away from you, even though you are the source of the bliss. My Swarupa is Ananda. I am Ananda Swarupa. Even then, it is covered with all these negative thoughts. So far is okay? Okay. Now listen. The student also knows this. Student says that I can experience the objects and the subject, I can make out body, this thing, all that. But I must experience that Atma. What you're talking about Atma, I am not experiencing. I am only experiencing the objects. I am not experiencing the Atma. So I want a direct experience of the self. I am the subject and I can experience the object. Like the body is there, sense organs are there, all that is there, I can experience. I have the eyes, I have the ears, I have the nose, everything I can experience. But I want to experience that Atma also, the self also. Can I develop that subject-object relationship with Atma or self? Can I? No, you cannot, because you are looking for developing a subject-object relationship like that Atma, or this thing is Atma, or consciousness is like another object. I am the subject and that self is another object. Then only you will have a relationship. Any relationship requires two entities. समझे ना? Any relationship requires two bodies. I am the subject and something else is the object. But that self or the consciousness is infinite, all-pervading, and that is only one, Advitiya. If it encompasses everything in this total universe, where is the question of having a subject and object? Isn't it? There is no question of having two things. There is no subject-object separate, and you cannot have a relationship like that. That infinite subject or infinite bliss or infinite existence, all that is one and only one. Therefore, you can't have a direct experience of the self through the sense organs or through the mind or looking at the body or the intellect or combination of all of them. You cannot have a direct experience. But the student is asking, you give me that direct experience. So this is what I was coming to. The only means available to have a direct experience, it's not direct, I'll tell you what is the name, is through contemplation, through dhyana, dharana, samadhi, nidhyasana. This is the only means through which you can experience that pure self within yourself. So the student cannot know. In the beginning, the student cannot appreciate that और जस्ट ध्यान में बैठेगा तो क्या हो जाएगा? यू आर नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग. अरे दिस इज नॉट समथिंग टू बी डन. दिस इज समथिंग टू बी एक्सपीरियंस फ्रॉम विद इन, not from outside. So to make the student understand that this sadhana, this practice is required to sit down again and again, so that your intellectual conviction percolates into your inner self, that sakshat, that means your subconscious mind, and for that purpose, the teacher guides the student. The teachers guides the student through logical arguments. First, through arguments, logical argument, persuasion, then practical guidance. Like we are doing guided meditation, practical guidance to proceed on the path of contemplation or dhyana. So once the student embarks on the path of nidhyasana, that such a delicate and sensitive handling by the teacher, he can accomplish miracles. It can happen. He can have a transformation from the intellectual conviction to a subjective experience of the self from within. This is called aparoksha jnana or aparoksha anubhuti. So that experience, the I, the self is different, separate, distinct from the entity of the body, etc. That is an object, but I am the pure self, which is encompassing all the objects of the universe. So that true nature of yourself, you realize. So what is that aparoksha? Aparoksha anubhuti. We have a, in Chinmaya Vibhuti, we have a aparoksha anubhuti vatika. You go into that garden and you will realize yourself that Aham Brahmasmi. Hence, you will have that experience. See, there are three things, three ways of knowing that pramana: pratyaksha, paroksha, and aparoksha. What is pratyaksha? Prati aksha. Aksha means what? Aksha means eyes. Aksha means eyes. Pratyaksha means direct knowledge, direct experience. Eye is only a not only eye, but also all the sense organs. That means your experience, knowledge through all your sense organs directly is a pratyaksha. Paroksha is what? Para aksha anubhuti. Para means somebody else. Somebody else's eyes or somebody else's sense organs has given you some information that you are utilizing for your experience. That is called para aksha anubhuti, paroksha anubhuti. Okay. Through the eyes of somebody else. So paroksha. What is aparoksha? Para aksha. That means not somebody else's eyes. That means para aksha means not somebody else's eyes. That means through not somebody else's experience or sense organs, but direct experience of the self from within yourselves. This is called aparoksha anubhuti. Okay. So this anubhuti, the experience, is not subject-object experience, but from within. This is the experience that you get at Aham Brahmasmi. So there was a anecdote, a person who was going through satsang and he was little evolved student. So he claimed that Aham Brahmasmi, I am the Brahman, but my wife has got some ailments. But when you are Brahman, when you consider yourself to be Brahman, you are not separate from anybody else, anything else. You are the entire universe yourself. So there cannot be somebody else being ill or well. Because that Brahman, you are the Brahman, he is the Brahman, she is the Brahman, everybody else is Brahman only. That understanding should come. Not that I am Brahman, let others suffer. Okay? So that is you have to see the Sarvam Brahmam Asyati. This this sloka gives us a idea of one text we had done earlier. It's named Drik Drishya Viveka. Understand the Drishya. This is what we are doing here in this sloka. No? I am the seer, you are the sin. The object is the sin, the subject is the seer. So you find the difference and differentiate. This is what the book is. And we have studied the book very thoroughly. How boys doesn't remember, I don't know. First sloka of that, I'll just repeat and explain to you. Rupam Drishyam Losanam Druk Tadrishyam Draktu Manasam Drishyadhi Vrittaya Sakshi Drigeva Natu Drishyate. Whatever drishya is there, whatever you see from outside, the eyes see that. So eye becomes a seer and the drishya becomes the drishya. That is whatever you see, color and forms, whatever you see, that is the drishya and your eyes is the drashta, is the seer. Then tadrishyam draktu manasam. Your eyes is the seer. But now the next level comes, your mind is the seer, but your eyes become the drishya. Because the mind sees the eyes. Understand? The mind sees the eyes and the mind becomes the seer and the eye becomes the sin. Third level, he says, drishya dhi vrittaya sakshi. The drishya, that mind which was the seer, mind means mind, intellect, etc. All these becomes sin. Who is the seer? The Sakshi. The Sakshi Chaitanya is the seer of your mind, of your intellect as the sin. Understand the three levels? Then he said, Rigeva Natu Drishyate. That mind, the seer of the thought, the drashta, the Sakshi, is never the sin. Like three levels. That drashta, the sakshi can never be the sin. The eye is the seer, the object is the sin. Next level, the eye becomes a sin, the mind becomes a seer. Third level, the sakshi becomes a seer and the mind becomes sin. But the sakshi can never become the sin. That Chaitanya, the sakshi Chaitanya, can never be the sin object. Because it's always the Chaitanya Swarupa, always the Sakshi. So this is called, and this is the first verse of Drik Drishya Viveka. Drik means drashta and drishya. Sin, seer and the sin, the Viveka. That means discrimination between seer and sin. This is what we have been doing in this sloka. I am the seer, the Chaitanya is the seer, and I am the body is the sin. This is what we are doing. Okay. So we conclude this sloka 15. Right? We'll just chant the next one. Little difficult, but we'll chant. Open the book. Eva mindriya drung naham Indriya drum na aham.
Indriya no. Eva Indriya Dhruvana.
Indriyani iti nischinu. Indriyani iti nischinu. Means nischinu means Indriyani is the senses, iti means thus, and the nischinu means I mean be sure of that. Nischay karo. Mano buddhi tatha prana. Next level comes mana, buddhi, and prana. Naham iti badharaya. Na aham iti abadharaya. So you ascertain that I am also not this mana, I am not the buddhi, I am not the prana.
Indriya. I am also not the Indriyas. Dhruvana.
Yeah. See, first two fathers he said that
Yeah.
first
I am
two
nothing.
fathers
I am
he
actually
said.
nothing.
So just like that, you have already ascertained that you are these indriyas. I am not. Same way, you ascertain that I am not the mana, buddhi, and prana. So one करके वो निकाल देता है. Because these indriyas are one level, but then comes a mana, buddhi, and prana. These also I am not. To ascertain that you are neither the mind, nor the intellect, nor the prana, the vital layer. Okay. So what is happening is step by step, Bhagavan Shankaracharya is progressing and negating that I am not this body, I am not the indriyas, I am not the mana, I am not the buddhi, I am not the prana. So progressively is in one sloka he is not telling everything. So he has taken 3-4 slokas to tell that. But why I am not, he has also given the reasoning. In the previous verses of 13 to 15 verses, what he's saying, the reason why we should ascertain that these are not the Atma, these are Anatma. How can you ascertain that this is Anatma, not Atma? He has given some reasoning, and that reasoning I have told how it is. Because the three distinct regions were there. One was Bhautikatvat. It is made of bhutas, panchabhutas. It is made of because it's material. So it is made of panchabhutas. It can be, it is there, it cannot be there. So it is okay. And then it is sagunatvat. Saguna means it is with guna, with attributes, with properties. And property can be there, property cannot be there sometimes. It is subject to change. And also drishyatvat is a subject object relationship. It can be seen. The 3-4 reasons were given to ascertain that these things are not Atma. So let us look at it again. What is the reasoning here? First one say they are product of the Pancha Mahabhutas. Pancha Mahabhutas, Akasa, Vayu, etc. Okay, and they are made of it. Okay. But in Pancha Mahabhuta also, if you remember your Tattvabodha, Gyanendriyas. See, Gyanendriyas are the product of the Panchamabhuta, but they are the product of Panchabhuta Sattva Guna Vikara. Jnanendriyas are vikara, change of sattva guna. Whereas karmendriyas are product of panchabhutas, but they are rajoguna vikara. Okay? So that's why the Jnanendriyas have got the power to have knowledge, get knowledge, But karmendriyas don't have the power. They have the activity. They have to action. So that's why they are the organs of action. These are the organs of knowledge because they are of sattva guna. This way, all the 10 sense organs are made of panchamabhutas and they are subject to changes and modifications as they go. So that's why they are not Atma, they are anatma. Sagunatvat, at least with the gunas. See, that Paramatma or the consciousness is Nirguna, Nirakara, Nirvikalpa. But here, my body is Saguna. Sometimes I am angry, sometimes I am compassionate, sometimes happy, sometimes I cry. Body temperature is there. So many changes in the body itself and in the mind, in the intellect, at all levels, there are changes all the time. And they have the gunas. So because of the gunas, I am changing. And when I'm changing, I cannot be the eternal self. Okay? Then comes the sagunatva, sorry, drishyatva. Drishya means what? Sin. Outside that is drishya, right? So that whole thing is the drishya. Like the objects of the world are drishya, same thing with the drishyatva means what? It's a object of experience. All these are an object of experience. All my sense organs, both Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas, at different levels. They can be experienced, they can be seen, they can be perceived by me. Mind, it can be perceived by me, not by somebody else. I can see with my eyes, but somebody else cannot see with my eyes. Can he? They are very small things, but you think deeply that I can use my eyes to see. But can somebody else use my eyes to see? Or can I use somebody else's eye to see? Same way for all my same way for all my sense organs. The sense organs are meant for use by myself. So I can experience, but what do you experience? You say, yes, I have the eyes, I experience. But what you experience is not the real power of sight, You experience only the golagam. Golagam means that space where the eye is there, space where the ear is there, where the instrument is there. You can see the eyeball or eyelids, but you cannot see the power of the sight. Can you? You cannot see the power of the sight. Suppose you go to a eye doctor, you say, doctor, you check my eyes, some number बढ़ गया. So you go to doctor and you say, please check my eyes, and number will change over there. Can the doctor tell you what is the power of our eyes? What does he do? You did the operation now, no, Kavita? See, what they do, they can see your retina also. They will put a very microscope and something, they will do and put some liquid, something डाल के इसको बड़ा कर देंगे और अंदर बड़ा कर देंगे, expand करके देखेंगे. But they'll see the eyes, eyelids, the retina, and inside the retina, all that they can see. But he cannot tell your eyes. I mean, the power of your eyes. What he does, he puts a dummy specs on you, then puts on lenses, different lenses. You have to tell where you are comfortable. Can you read this line, first line? Can you read the second line? Can you read the third line? Then only he will tell you which line you can read. Then he will tell you this is the power. Isn't it? It cannot be perceived by somebody else. or by you only. So doctor cannot decide the power of eyes even though he or she is very well educated. Because it is only the power only you can say. And you, who the drashta, that sakshi can only say. You cannot perceive it through your sense organs. So what you are coming to is all the indriyas are anatmas due to these three reasons I gave. So Salvi is no. We can go a little more, but I'll stop it here. There's some announcement. Okay. Same thing will go on. Finally, it is saying that mano, buddhi, or prana, everything also, it is changeable like this. This is also drishya, and you find out how that you are not the drishya, you are the atma, and you ascertain how it will be ascertain. All that we can discuss a little bit, but this is the gist of the story here. Okay, so we'll close the class now.
Okay,
I'll take off. Thank you. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.